What is going on, guys? It's your boy, Mr. Banks, coming at you live. And today I want to go over two important concepts: break of structure and change of character. I believe these two concepts added to your trading will improve your win rate and profitability, as well as understand where to find liquidity, where to take trades, high probability setups, and how to spot reversals in the market. So go ahead and hit that like and subscribe button so you don't miss any of this educational content I put out on a daily basis for you guys to become consistently profitable. Now, as always, we are going to go over a live trade that was taken today. But first, I'm going to go over these two concepts: break of structure and change of character. Let me go ahead and share my screen with you guys and get into it. Now, again, we will be going over QQQ calls today, but let's go over the actual concepts first. I just did a thread on Twitter. If you guys aren't following, it is at Real JG Banks on Twitter. So break of structure and change of character. Let's go over what these are. Break of structure means the break of a lower low. So in case we're in a bearish trend, right, we have lower highs and lower lows in a bearish trend, right? Lower highs, lower lows, lower high, lower lows coming down. So it means a break of that. If we're in a bullish trend, though, it means a break of the higher high, right? We go higher high, lower high, higher high, lower high, higher high on a bullish trend. So that is what break of structure means. And again, I'll get into this in more detail in just a second. But the next concept we need to know is change of character. Break of a lower high or a higher low. After the break of structure, what we just went over, right? The break of structure is a break of a lower low on a bearish trend and a break of a higher high on a bullish trend. So after the break of structure, the price will reverse to change the trend, right? So as I said, these are two concepts to understand a trend reversal and where you can find liquidity to take trades. After it does this, it will break the recent lower highs or higher lows. In the case of a bullish trend, the price will break the higher lows, while during a bearish trend, the price will break the lower highs, right? So it'll break the lower highs after. So break of structure breaks on a bearish trend, breaks the lower low, and then a change of character will break that lower high. In a bullish trend, right, we will break the higher low and then go and break the higher high. So after the above steps, the price will change its trend. This is known as change of character in the market. So let's go ahead and take a look at an example here: break of structure and change of character. So if we are in a bullish trend, right, we have a higher high, higher low, higher high, higher lows, right? Bullish trend, right? This is called a bullish trend. So we have a break of structure. The break of structure is where, we're creating a higher high, higher low, and then we break that higher high. So it's just continuing that trend. And this is where the break of structure happens. So we won't know exactly until a break of structure happens, until we have the change of character. So these two go hand in hand. We have to have a change of character in order to see where the break of structure is. So here is the break of structure. And then after the break of structure, we go and create a lower low. So as we know with a bullish trend, we do higher highs, higher lows, higher highs, higher lows. Break of structure, right? We broke the structure of this higher high. And then from there, we went and created a lower low. So instead of creating a lower high following this trend, we broke the higher highs and then we went and created a lower high. So this is where the change of character happens. Now, in a bearish trend, guys, as we know, bearish trends have lower lows and lower highs, lower lows, lower highs. That is a bearish trend. That's how we know that something is trending bearish or to the downside. So very similar to the bullish, just kind of flipped. We create a lower low, we create a lower high, and then obviously we break this structure, right? So the structure is this lower low. We created a lower high, and then we broke this structure, right? We broke this lower low, and then we came up and created a higher high. So instead of creating a lower high, we created a lower low into a higher high, right? So hope that makes sense. Again, with the bullish trend, higher high, higher lows. Created a higher high, higher lows. We're still in the trend. Created a higher high, still in the trend. And then from this higher high, we go and create a lower low, breaking the previous higher low. So we're in the trend, create a higher high, and then we create a lower low instead of creating a higher low. Here's the break of structure for that higher high. And then here's the change of character, right? It's pretty simple in the name. This is a change of character, right? It's a change of trend. We're not creating a bullish trend anymore since we created a lower low. Likewise with the bearish trend, lower highs, lower lows, lower highs. We created a lower low into a lower high into another lower low. And then from that lower low, instead of creating a lower high to continue the trend, we break it to create a higher high. That is where the change of character happens. This is where the break of structure. So why is this break of structure so important? Well, that is where we're going to actually find liquidity to take the trade on this trend reversal. So let's go ahead and take an example here. As we can see, here is a bearish trend example. We have a lower low, lower high, lower low, kind of lower high technically. And then we come back down and create a lower low into a higher high, right? So we have that break of structure following that trend down, lower low. But then from this lower low, we will go and create a higher high. This is where the change of character happens, right? So you have a change of the trend. The trend is now showing a possible reversal here. So the break of structure, lower low into a higher high, change of character. Here is where that break of structure happens. So why is this break of structure so important? Well, that is where we're going to have a demand zone where we can find liquidity to take the trade on this trend reversal. So as we know, we use supply and demand zones. If you have any questions about supply and demand zones, I do go more in depth in this in a previous lesson for you on my YouTube on supply and demand. If you go and find it, type in Wolves of Wealth supply and demand, you will find it. So let's take a look at this example, and then we'll get into the actual live trade that we took today on QQQ. So here is a lower low, lower high, same chart. So again, we have this trend down, created a lower low into a higher high, right? So now this is where our break of structure is into this lower low, right? We broke it into the higher high. So we draw our break of structure. Here's the change of character. Since we didn't create a higher low, we created a higher high, right? Since a bearish trend is lower lows, and then lower highs, we went to a lower low into a higher high, right? So here's the break of trend. And this is where the break of structure happens, right? Here's a change of character and a break of structure happens. This is where we'll draw a demand zone. So after we break into this higher high, we want to look to take a trade on a trend reversal to the upside. So our demand zone will be right around where this break of structure happens. And we want to look to take or enter a trade into a long position in this bearish example in this demand zone right at this break of structure. So this is where the break of structure actually comes into play and becomes very important. So as you can see, we won't know the break of structure until we break that trend. So we broke the trend, lower low into a higher high. We have this change of character right here. And then we have this break of structure. So once we get this higher high, we showing that there is now a trend reversal possible. We're going to look for a bounce in this demand zone right at this break of structure to take that trend reversal to the upside. And again, if we're doing bullish, it would just be the opposite. So now, again, guys, we're going to go into this QQQ trade here. Now, you can use the 5-minute time frame, but the 2-minute and 1-minute are also really good at finding these, especially if we are looking at kind of more sideways action versus an actual trend. So today I'm going to use the 2-minute time frame on this example because since we were kind of going sideways, we obviously created a short-lived bearish trend here, right? Lower lows, higher lows, or lower highs into a lower low. So as we can see here, it was a short-lived trend. It was within the first 30 minutes, but it was a bearish trend nonetheless. So let's go ahead, or actually let's go back here. Let's go ahead and see, right? We have a lower low, right? So we could just say lower low here. And then we can say there is a lower high here, right? Because here's the high, lower high here. We have our bearish trend. And then we have another lower low. So it looks like there is a trend continuation here into this lower low. So, and then as we could see here, what happened in this case? Well, if we take a look here, we had a break of structure, right? Or sorry, we had a change of character here. So let's go ahead and draw our line here. So you can use the wicks, and if you're using the wicks, then we could see we had that break of structure, that change of character up here, creating a higher high. So here's the low, low. Here is the change of character here. And I'll blow this up for you guys. Just want to type these in. Right, so we have our lower high, lower low, and then we break into a higher high here, right? So after the break into this higher high, let's kind of give, so we can all see this break of the higher high. Right, so we can kind of see this break of the higher high here, right? Here's that lower high. Here's where the change of character is happening. We break into the higher high here. And now what is happening? Well, as we know before, we want to draw our nice demand zone, right, at this break of structure. So at this lower high, since we created this higher high, we have a change of character. Here is our break of structure down here where this lower low is. So as we could take a look, right, coming down, went into a higher high, change of character happened, break of structure to this downside, entering into the demand zone here. Likewise, right? We had this bearish trend, lower low, lower high, lower low, into a higher high. So here's our break of structure down here. And here is where our change of character would happen up here, right? We created this higher high, change of character is happening here. Now look, played out perfectly in this example. We came down. Since we broke this trend, creating a higher high, right? Lower low, lower high, lower low. Here's our break of structure on the downside. Here's our change of character to the upside. We created this higher high from the lower low. Technically, you could say this is almost a higher high, but this would technically be the higher high. And then we came down into this demand zone, creating the use of these concepts for that trend reversal. So here's the trend reversal. We take the trade in this demand, and then we started creating, right, higher highs. And then we started creating a nice blast off into that trend reversal where we saw the move going over 500% today. So I hope you guys enjoyed this. That was the live trade taken today and why we took it. Hope you guys now understand break of structure, change of character. These are two very important concepts where you can try to find a trend reversal. This is where you can find to grab liquidity. This was a bearish example, but of course there is bullish examples as well. Hope you guys enjoyed this. Again, if you have any questions, drop in the chat. My name is Mr. Banks. I just want to give a quick shout out to everyone in the group today. I do trade and own the Wolves of Wealth community. And guys, we help struggling traders become profitable. So if you guys want any help, I will see you in the community. If not, enjoy my free videos I put out on a daily basis. I will see you guys next time. As always, my name is Mr. Banks. Thank you guys for following along. I will see you next time. Drop your comments in the chat. Let's have a good rest of the week and profitable week. I believe in all of you. I believe all of you can become amazing traders because we all have it in us. All right, guys. See you next time.